All right, we live and we back. We would like to thank you for joining us this week at Curious and Carrot the podcast. And I have my two special guests. They were definitely asked to come back by the people. The people have spoken. We got CEO Marty, music
What's going on?
producer,
What's going on?
back in the
Okay.
building.
Glad to be
Okay.
back.
And then we got my favorite cousin Shanda back in the building.
Woohoo.
So basically, this week we want to. It seems like we always hit on relationships and stuff because that seems to be the going thing.
Mhm.
Basically, red flags in men and women, and red flags in relationships.
Mm.
Things to look out for, things that you notice in past relationships, things that you may notice in,
Mm-hmm.
current relationships. So,
Ladies first.
who want to go first? Spitting out a red flag. Are we doing red flags in men
I
first
mean, yeah, y'all can go ahead. Y'all can go first.
or in
Mm.
relationships?
We could do relationships.
Okay, we gonna do red flags in relationships. All right, so I'll do my first red flag. Um, I feel like the first red flag for me is someone that is overly controlling. Like just
Mm.
gotta be in control of everything. Like I feel like when you're in a relationship, it's a partnership, so it's even. It's an even playing field. Everybody just working together. It's nobody calling the shots on everything. So definitely somebody that's
Mm.
overly
Ah,
controlling
ah, go ahead.
because and I think people get it mixed up because um jealousy can tie into a part of being overly controlling. I think that pretty much goes hand in hand because, like, why do you feel like you need to be in
Sounds
control
like
of
abandonment
something?
issues.
I do.
Sounds like a little bit of
It sound like a
abandonment
It sounds
what
like
issues.
what?
issue?
Like, so, I mean,
No, not really. I never had any abandonment in my life, and I'm very controlling. And I
right.
guess because I like things a certain way, and it's like, and if you're not doing it my way, it's like I'm going
So
to get
then,
annoyed, and then we're going to have a problem.
can you honestly say,
And
can
then you
you
gotta go.
agree that that's kind of selfish too? Well,
And I don't
that's the
care.
beginning of the conversation. Because again, like she just said, oh look, hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Sit.
Respectfully, it's impossible to be in a relationship with a one-sided situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have it your way all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about you. It's
Mhm.
about both of y'all. So if you're controlling the narrative, then you're gonna make that man feel less, or like his word is not valued, or his presence is not even valued because he has to basically, bow down to your narrative. So it's not an even playing field. Like I told Kara the last time, I said, what I'm learning is that it's okay to agree to disagree. Like we can't always be
Yeah, I like this.
we can't
You said a
always
lot of good
expect to
things
be
on
right
her.
because we're two different human beings. Like you're used to being in control and honestly, I would want to say that's because, and no disrespect, but I'm not going to use you. I'm just saying in general. Most people, in
Mhm.
my humble opinion, that wants to be in control
Mhm.
is not used to being in a real relationship. Because when you're in a real relationship,
And I have.
submissive, being submissive on both sides is what matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be submissive to you, you can be submissive to me. That way,
Mhm.
that's the sensitive part in the relationship, and understand that it's about both of us, and that it's not just one sided. If I say, all right, do it. Basically, it sounds like when you say, "Well, it's my way or the highway." It's like, well, damn. Do you want a partner? Do you
Not
want a
really the
husband, or do you
highway.
want a boyfriend, or do you want a dog? You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You know what probably is? It's probably because I'm not trying to mold nobody into somebody else that I was in a relationship with, because I would never
Mm-hmm.
compare somebody else with somebody in a relationship. I think it's more so like, I need you to meet me halfway. And it's like, when you're not meeting me halfway, it's like,
Right.
you know what? I tried it
Okay.
so many times.
But at that
I'm
point,
taking
it's
control
like,
of this.
okay, is it? Because here's the thing: if you already realize that you can do that at that point, what's the point of going further? Because it's never going to change.
Hmm.
Then you're wasting your
You're
time.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, boom.
You're right.
If this is not
And
conducive, then why would I settle and waste my time? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It's all
mm-hmm.
trial and error. You know what I mean? We all human beings, and we got our things and whatever with us, and we have to try to make it work. If it don't work,
Yeah.
it just don't work. But a lot of times we just get comfortable, you know what I mean, in the situation, because we
Yeah.
don't want to go looking for nothing else. I'm like, all right, you know what, I just deal with this. And it's like, red flags. You're missing
Hmm.
blaring neon red flags. And
Yeah.
that's why a lot of disrespect comes in. That's why a lot of, confusion comes in.
Right. Right. And that's the thing I don't like. I don't like to get nasty or
Right.
disrespected, especially with no man that you're with. Like, why should I have to get to a point where now I'm
Mm-hmm.
disrespecting you, not caring how your feelings is,
Right.
when we supposed to be at this even level and you're not even trying? So it's like, at this point, it's pointless. You're
Right.
not going to
Right. I
change.
mean,
So I'm going to remove myself.
that's actually the hardest part, in my opinion. The hardest part is realizing that, it's not going to work.
Right. And I'm sorry not to cut you off, because it's the fact that you had so much time with this
Right.
person. You put in so much energy, just everything into this relationship, just for it just to be like, all right, just to let
Well,
it
I
go
mean,
like
it's
that, because
accountability
nobody
too,
can
because
meet you
you're talking about
halfway.
red flags. So there's a lot of red flags that you missed, or I
Yeah.
could say we have missed. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Right.
because like those red flags compounded on top of each other, we're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy, but we have to take
Hmm.
accountability that we.
You right about that, because
Mhm.
like, my girl's dad, I knew it was red flags in the beginning, but me, the person, like I said, try to mold somebody just to see if anything had changed. Then eventually it was like, okay, it was there. Then it like faded back into this, and then it was like I should have. And it's so crazy. I don't regret the relationship that I'm in, but I just
Right.
wish I should have just stopped it where it was at and just left it. Like, you know what? You doing too much. This ain't,
I mean, it's hard.
I
It's
just
hard
feel
to
like I
leave,
should have
though.
just left it where it was at.
It's hard to leave.
Was
But like
he
you said,
controlling?
What'd you say?
accountability.
Was he controlling?
Huh?
Was he controlling?
No, he wasn't. It
You
was
was the
just certain
controlling one.
things that I was looking for in a relationship. Like, for instance, like, I give an example of, I don't give a damn. We grown now. My sister's mom with my dad, and then my dad had this wife, and it was like, it was always, God rest her soul, my sisters and their mom will always have, you know,
Mm-hmm.
always coming at my dad and his wife. So it was like, that was my situation with my girl's dad. Like, you wasn't in a relationship with this
Mm-hmm.
girl, but she had so much control over you. And it was like, you wasn't putting your foot down, let her know, like, okay, I'm in this relationship. You're not going to sit here
Mm-hmm.
and ruin my relationship, what I got good going on. But you so scared of getting on child support. At
Well,
the end of the day, she going to do what she going to want to do. And it's either you're going to sit there and allow her to continue to damage
right.
your relationship, something that you could have good, or you just,
Right.
I'm just going to leave you alone. But no, I didn't do that. I stayed or whatever. I never got into, in between. I just said, look, at the end of the day, you're going to have to put your foot down. It's like, because you're going to have to continue to have this problem as from years now. And God rest her soul, his child's mom. She's no
Well,
longer
I
here,
can
but it's
speak from
like,
experience on that.
damn.
for a long time, my biggest thing was, I have a 14-year-old. My daughter's 14 now, and me and her mom are actually cool now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we came to the conclusion that hurt people hurt
Okay.
people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why things didn't. That's why things.
Yeah. And that's how it was. And the crazy thing is, and it's so crazy because we became
Right.
cool that year way before
Right.
she
So
passed. And it was just like,
with my
damn.
situation, my thing was I never wanted to. If I wasn't with you, I wasn't gonna have you around my child because I felt like I didn't want that bad representation in my daughter's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what her mother did was what her mother did. That's none of my business. But I was always scared because I was always programmed that, once you're on child support, this is what happens. I know people that went to jail for child support and it was great fathers. To be honest with you, what I found out, and, fast forward, that the system is rigged to women, period. Because the lady told me when I actually when I had to go to child support, like, for instance, all right, so let me tell you a little story real quick. So I never had any female around my daughter. You know what I'm saying? My wife met my daughter when she was 4 years old. And at that point, I felt like she was going to be the one, you know what I'm saying, was going to be around my kid. So I reached out to my daughter's mother, did the right thing, which I thought was the right thing. Scared to death because, again, they always say once you, get into another relationship, blah, blah, things can change. And they did. Now, I thought I could control the narrative, but I didn't. A couple months later, I reached out to my daughter's mother, spoke to her, whatever. And then, I said, y'all can talk, because she's going to be around our child. She called her and things went left, like completely left. And it was kind of like disheartening. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, like, why would you do that? And I think at that point, it was like for her, well, you're happy. I'm not happy. you know what I mean? So it was like one of them type of situations. And come to find out, like several months later, I get a letter in the mail saying I'm in arrears for child support. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Mind you, the whole time I was giving her money, you know what I'm saying? Like making sure she was good. But because of however she felt about the situation, I guess somebody told her like, yo, put him on child support. Oh, he's leveling up. He's happy. He's this, he's that. You know what I mean? You'll see me get a new car, blah, blah, blah. And it's no slight to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to her. Again, hurt people. So it's like, you're going through what you're going through and you're not liking what you're seeing over here. And it's like, all right, boom, this is what I'm going to do. And she felt like, she even told me, she said, I felt like you was going to forget about your child, which anybody that knows me, my daughter's my entire everything. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, to me, that was just like, whatever. Going to child support, going to court was very interesting. I got there, I had receipts, I had, people backing me, letting to let the judge know what type of father I am and was, and whatever the case may be, and none of that mattered. The judge literally looked in my face. Mind you, I was on this. This is what I'm gonna and I'm gonna try to wrap it up real fast, but I'm gonna tell you why men they do the things they do when it comes to their baby mother. So, a week, it was barely nothing, and she wanted to award the mother of my child pretty much everything and what I didn't have. Right? So I said, hold on, that's not fair. I said, she's not even prepared in court. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming here prepared, whatever. Come to find out the judge was biased. The judge didn't like men, period. You know what I'm saying? That was a fact. She had a lot of complaints about her, a lot of different things that was going on with her, cases against her because of that fact, right? She done locked men up, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so I was like, listen, y'all gonna have to lock me up because I can't do what you asked me to do. So we end up coming up with a number, and I'm looking at her like, yo, you let these people tell me what I'm supposed to do for my child. That's crazy to me, right? We go outside, mind you, I'll tell you this. My in-laws had a whole summer plan for my daughter, and she got up in the court and was like, oh, I don't know them. completely flipped the script, right? Now I'm giving
Wow.
y'all this as transparency. Like I said, we've already had the conversation and we got kind of somewhat past, all of that and understanding now. But I come outside and the lady was like, no, the judge. I'm sorry. The judge was like, before we left, the judge was like, "Oh, well, if you don't like it, you should have put yourself on child support." I said, "Okay, why would I need to come and pay you to pay her? That's my child, right?"
Right.
That's what I was doing. I
When
said
that's what
that
I
don't
was
matter.
doing.
So, making me come here makes it almost as if like I'm some deadbeat, incompetent human being. Like, what I'm saying, or man or father, whatever. I said, I don't need you to tell me
Yeah.
what to do with my kid, right? Whatever. Judge didn't want to hear it. Came outside and some random lady, I don't know where she came from or whatever, she pulled me to the side and she said, go downstairs and get custody. I said, custody? What do you mean?
Mm.
That's my child. I don't need to get custody. She goes, neither one of y'all have custody of your kid. She goes, and this is where it got real deep
Mm-hmm.
and weird. And all the things that you heard that you thought people was like, that's BS, started making sense. The lady said, once you sign the birth certificate, both of y'all signed your kid over to the award of the state. So that's why they tell you basically to go and get custody. It becomes a custody hearing now. Like who gets the full custody or partial custody or whatever. And it bugged me out. So I did that, had another judge, and the judge found out what happened and basically told her, like, don't you ever use your kid as a pawn. I say all that to say a lot of men hear stories, like horror stories about other men. You know what I'm saying? That went through the system and blah, blah, blah. And when they get in the front of that judge, nothing they did great matters. All that matters is she put him on child support because at the end of the day, it's like a cry for help. And it was like, she looks like as if like she tried everything and I didn't comply. And now I'm looked at by the courts as a deadbeat. My daughter could have had 300 million in the bank. She could have been to the best schools and all that. But because she went to the courts, it made the courts look at me like I was deadbeat. So men get terrified of that.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, you know what? I just don't want no drama. And I'm not going to lie. I did that to my wife. And I was like, yo, you know what? I don't want any problems because me and her wasn't having a problem. As soon as that happened, all hell broke loose. And it caused like a major rift in my home and everything. So, and a major rift between my daughter and my wife as well because, all the ignorant stuff. So I say that to say men, when they trying to keep the peace, they're legit afraid of the consequence that they can't control. And they're not going to ever be able to control because they made a choice with a young lady that what they thought would never do the things that they ended up doing, and they get caught out there. So I would say for that type of situation, have a little bit more patience with a man like that because he's legit warring with himself because he knows that he can lose it all just like that. My cousin lost his license, his job. He's 7 years of his life, and he paid his child's school, everything, and like I hate this Apple Watch. It always he paid everything, and they still sentenced him to 7 years. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to
Wow.
that's a touchy subject. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my daughter mom's is in a different place now, and I'm thankful for that. And we can actually have conversation and have somewhat of understanding. But that was a rough time. And before my wife, I didn't even have good relationships because I was scared like if she even found out. Mind you, me and her haven't been together for years. But I'm moved on. She done moved on, and she's with whoever she's with. But I couldn't move on because I felt like if I did that, then she would do this. And like you said, it was inevitable. Whatever she was going to do, she was going to do. But I tried my hardest to drag it out as long as I possibly can to try to, control the narrative. And that was a narrative that I couldn't control. So, shout out to all the men that
Yeah.
that are dealing with that situation, because it's very disheartening. Like, it's hard, it's rough. That court system do not care about good fathers. They don't care about good fathers at all. They don't care about what you have. They don't care if you can have, you can have
We gonna
receipts.
need a
You can
whole
have all.
episode on
You can
that
have
right there.
signatures.
Yeah.
You can have all that. The kid could be like, my daddy. David had a mediation with my child. Right? She was 4 years old. Had a mediation with my child, and my child was bigging me up. My dad is the best. Blah blah blah. Isn't that? You know what I'm saying? And you would thought like that would have been in consideration, to the point where she even said she wanted to live with me. Mind you, pause this for a minute. My daughter lived with me from the time she came home from the hospital till she was 4 years old. Right?
Hold on. We're
Right.
gonna have to get into this on another
Well, I'm
episode
sorry.
because
I'm
we
sorry.
talk
Well,
about
I'm sorry.
red flags. How we get all the way here?
But I was just saying, shout out to all the men that's going through. And if that's a red flag for a man to try to keep the sanity between him and his baby mother, 10 times out of 10, it's because dude don't want to go down that route. Especially if he ain't got no legit situation going on, like he can't find a good job and all that stuff like that. That's the reason.
Right.
So, shout out to them. The good ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to move on to the next thing. We got an hour on here. I want you to remember that, sir.
Oh,
okay.
I was really listening to him because he was making good points about that, because that's
we know people that done been through the shit. Like, we actually live it, so I get it.
I ain't gonna lie. But, thankful, my daughter's good, and her mom is in a better place. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? But going back to this controlling thing, like, you gotta, are you with someone now? Okay, so I was saying,
No.
like I told Kira in our last conversation, your best bet is to, when you find someone that sparks your interest and your needs, to have the full conversation before you even step further into that relationship, because at that point you'll know who they are, what type of person they are. And again, as time passes, of course things come up and different attributes about them come up, but you can't go into a relationship demanding certain things. You have to be open-minded, because certain things, just like about you, is not going to work for them. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be,
I know, and that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on.
Commune, if I can use that as you have to be able to get together and have compromise. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely all about compromise. It's about selflessness. Like I always, I said, selflessness and reciprocation. Or like, you can't just say, well, because because of this, blah blah blah, this is what I want. I mean, that works in certain things, but when you control the narrative all the time, that man's gonna start looking at you like, yo, like, I ain't asking for a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you come off
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want to feel like I'm trying to be somebody's mom.
That's, in my opinion, respectfully and humbly, is because you haven't found the right person yet. When you find the right person, it's gonna fit like Legos. You're gonna be like, okay, I can chill. I can like release the pressure in my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a little bit, like, okay, boom, let me try this. This is different, but I feel safe with this person. I feel comfortable, and he makes me feel like I can be soft. I can be, genuine. I can be, you know what I mean? A woman. I don't have to be like a take charge. No, this is my world, and you coming into my world type thing.
Right.
And it's hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
but,
I get it.
I agree. But
it is.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's patience is what that is.
And in that point, before I move on to the next one, I have been in situations like that where somebody called me bossy. My daughter's dad called me bossy, But I'm just like, if you're not stepping up as a man to do the things that you're
Right.
supposed to do for the household, then me telling you because you're not doing it, so that means that maybe you don't know. So maybe I need to tell you. So now that I'm
Right.
telling you, I'm bossy. Like, so you got to know who is for you. If that person ain't got it in them, they just ain't got it in them. Like, I know you build on
Right.
things, but if they ain't got it in them, they ain't got
Right.
it in them. Red
That's a
flag,
major
boom,
red flag
gone.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
you know somebody that's a go getter, somebody that's a person that you can rely on. Like they might not be able to do everything, but you can rely on them for the basics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you know what I'm saying?
Or
And
to the
as long as
paper.
you can do that, then everything else
Yeah.
can be built upon. But when they lazy and don't want to do nothing and they put you in a position to
Mm-hmm.
be the head, then you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. Like there are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
men that are struggling financially right now, and their woman might need to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? If that man is compassionate and he's able to, he's willing to come in the house or, get the groceries or take out the trash or and still make you feel like a woman and love on you and this snap blah blah. Like support him. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure
Mm-hmm.
you help him out because he's struggling mentally. That because he's like, yo, I'm not in a position, and I need to get back in that position, right? Now, if he's in the house playing video games all day, that's a red flag. Get him out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you don't think red flags, like for instance, you meet a guy and they say like, they they can't be on their feet
Okay.
right now, so they staying with a mom or cousin due to the fact that they had to go to jail, they're on parole or ain't even on parole no more. It's the fact due to their situation. Exactly. So you
See
consider
that?
that's a red flag. Because you're thinking your
No,
glasses.
but hold
Because
on.
I'm like,
To be fair,
Yeah,
it's
to be
like,
fair, everybody goes through shit. You gotta. It's the character. It's the character of a person, of a man and a woman. A person could have went to jail on parole. They probably gotta be locked down in their mom crib and their sister crib or crib in order for them to get to where they need to get. If he's a go getter and he's gonna change the situation, then like what I'm saying, honor that man's experience. Let him do him though. Yeah.
I understand that, but
Well, I
also
mean,
by how long
you
you supposed
if
to wait. And it ain't like, let me come over to your sister
nah,
house to stay the night while she got all her
yeah,
kids there. Like we
that wouldn't
can't
work.
cuddle and do what we want. No.
That
And I don't want you at my house neither.
yeah, your
yeah,
priorities got to be in order in that fact. Because my thing is, I'm not interested if we got to do all that. Like your priorities is not in order. You can't focus on me
yeah,
because you got
true.
to
I mean,
focus on
there's some
getting out
people
of
that
that
can there's
situation.
some people that can do both.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, let's say he found a job, and at the end of the day, if that was me, I wouldn't want my girl coming to my cousin crib or my mom crib. I'm gonna go get a hotel for the weekend or something so we can spend time. Like what I mean, take some money,
Right.
get a nice hotel room, not no motel with doors outside and all that.
But see, that's the thing
Where
too.
you
I
going
don't
to
want
the
to
house,
do. I don't want to
Marcy?
do no hotels. I don't want to do no hotel. It's
Right.
either you gonna have your own or whatever, or if it's just you and your sister with no kids or your
Right.
homeboy and it's just you, that's fine. Like but because some family members be like, oh no, you can't. Like I have dealt with a guy due to the situation and he, which I'm calling it, but it's not like he was trying to rush to try to find somewhere. Neither his thing is, oh, he'll rent a room for the rest of his life if that's what he. Why would you want to rent a room somewhere?
Waive it.
Why? And you think I want to come exactly? And you think I want
But
to
you
come
but you
somewhere
see
where you rent a room at with all these people
but
in
you
here
see what I'm
and I
saying?
can't walk my
You
ass
answered
around
you
freely
answered your
like
own
I want
question.
to?
That man said
No.
that he was comfortable with the bare minimum. That is not even a conversation. That's not the same type of
But it's
man.
like I ran
Yeah.
into two though, and
That
this
that's
one
not that
is
listen,
like.
that
There's too many of them.
Yeah, and it's like they
right.
use their
No.
situation as
Listen.
an excuse. No, it's no excuse. No, because if my kids
Right.
is in my house, you're not coming to my house. Because I told nobody the next relationship I get in, and then I've been out of a relationship. I've been with my kids there for 8 years. It's been like a year and a half since we haven't been together. But
That's
nobody
perfect.
haven't been around my kids. Nobody. You're not going to be my. It would probably take a year. I'd say 2 years top, 2.5, near 3 years before you can even meet my kid. So I know that we're serious. And when you do that, you better have a ring on my finger, being my fiance. And then that's when I introduce you to my kids.
Because it might all align faster than that. So let's be realistic. Like it might. I met my wife, and like 3 months later, I knew that, you know what I mean. And she met my daughter, and like I said, I kept my daughter away from everybody. Like it was to the point where I could be in the street.
Oh, you mean like 3 months y'all was together?
I knew that me and her was going to be together. You know what I'm saying? Like this was somebody that I was going to incorporate into my world. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that. Huh?
It's different for men.
Well,
it's different for men.
It's different. Yeah, it's different for men.
It's characteristics. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at a man, it's very hard for y'all right now. I get it, because a lot of men out here, sadly, and it's really crazy that I even have to say this, but a lot of men are on fuck nigga shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a bad representation. It's either you're a dude with money on fuck nigga shit, or you a broke nigga on fuck nigga shit.
That's why I'm
right. So you know what I mean? And again, nobody's perfect. Don't listen, don't, because I know a lot of guys are probably gonna watch this. I'm not saying I know it all, but at the end of the day, we all know rich fuck niggas and we know broke fuck niggas at the end of the day. And my thing is, as a woman, there's certain characteristics that you need to find in a man that make you feel comfortable in knowing that you can actually pursue levels. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't see how that man move individually by himself, like there's no way in the world that you can say, all right, I don't care how cute he looks, I don't care even if you gave him some, you know what I mean? And it was good, it don't matter. At the end of the day, as an individual, I'm looking for long term. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not looking for, you know what I mean, a little situation. So there's certain characteristics that you need to start checking off and saying, all right, boom, does that work? Does that work? Like, can we approve this? Like that. Don't, like, if he's coming in the gate, like, well, guess what? I can live in a fucking a bathroom sized room for the rest of my life and be good. That's not the type of dude that you need. That's not the type of first of all, that's not the type of man that you need around your kids. You know what I'm saying? So I think like it's the mindset.
Right.
Just like for a woman. If a woman feels, I know a woman right now, I'm not gonna say no names. Every time I speak to her, it's always an issue. Oh, you know, I don't have money for this, my job this, and I'm off for 2 this, and blah 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 blah. And I said, well, why don't you get a new job? Oh, I don't want to get a new job. I like it here. Like I don't have to do nothing. But that's what I'm saying. She wants to sit down. But you be complaining about it. Nothing. And I'm like, that's really sad. That's sad. What man you know is gonna want a woman like to just do nothing? I don't care how bad you are. Like at least find a hobby or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and I told her, I said, yo, nobody's gonna want to rock. They might want to like screw on you, but they're not gonna want to have long term with you because you're not about nothing. You're the female version of a fuck nigga. So it goes both ways. You got women and you got men. But for y'all, for a man, it's gonna be like sadly, it's slim pickings, and y'all gotta really put people through a rigorous situation. You know what I'm saying, and see if they stand the test. Don't be overly aggressive about it, but like you know, I always say, see if a person can give you what you need, because you can find your wants. You can get your wants anywhere. Right. Your needs is what's going to last forever. If somebody can literally give you what you need, that's going to hit different. You feel what I'm saying? And honestly, like that's a whole nother conversation. The needs against the wants, like that. Man, listen. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Number 2.
Trust.
Lack of trust. Of the man playing in a relationship.
You said lack of trust?
Somebody that's always questioning what you doing. Like,
well,
they don't know you.
Clearly.
Right.
If you don't trust me, there's no need for you to be with me. Like, because what I'm not going to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
If you
I'm not
going
gonna
through
sit here
phones and
and
shit,
cater to
lack of
like
trust.
your insecurity.
And and if it is a lack of trust, it's a reason why it's a lack of trust, because something must have happened in that relationship to you to question why
Why?
you don't trust this person. So now if you gotta
Right.
continue, it don't matter if you feel like they changed, you still in the back of your mind, oh no,
Right.
somehow, something's gonna pop up and it's gonna be like, hold on, this nigga being too clean right now. Let me see what's going on. Because the people could change their
Well,
appearance and
it's
you
the
won't even know what the F
it's
they
the
doing.
comprehension and the communication. Like you have to sit down and be like, yo, listen, the way you move, I
Yeah.
don't like it. Let's talk about it. Like what you did caused the trauma, and I need to be able to get away from. I need to get fully healed from that in order for us to be able to move forward. Because I really don't have the time nor mental capacity to constantly patrol you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't have to patrol you because you
Yeah.
caused the distrust. Because now you're wasting time,
Right.
huh? Go
Right.
ahead.
Let me ask. Let
Nah,
me ask. Do y'all go through
I
phones?
don't.
I have. I never did until I got into this relationship. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I did it, because we had a situation. And it was like, since then, when that situation happened, yeah,
Right.
I dwelled on it for a little bit, but then I let it go. But then it was probably like years later, like, it was just like, bitch, check this nigga phone. And it was just like a lot of shit. And it was just like, you want to work on us, but you still doing this other mess I thought we was good on. But now you bringing me back to this place where I don't want to be, and I thought we was good. Now, you know what? Nope. And you can't, girl. Yeah, no,
Do you think
no.
that it's worse going through the phone and finding out, or having it constantly in the back of your mind that something is going on? Which is
I think
worse?
both of them. I think both of them is worse
I think it's
because,
the back of the mind.
in my opinion, going through
Yeah,
somebody's
both.
phone, right? Going through,
Because you're going to dwell on it in your head. And
right,
it's like, while you dwell on it, you're going to want to check that
going through
phone.
somebody's
And it's
phone.
like, the phone is like,
I've
damn.
always, I, I've always been like this. You pretty much give me everything. You know what I mean? I feel like you should be able to have something that's yours. We
Mm-hmm.
all know the phone is dangerous. Things could be in that phone that could be misconstrued and all that. Like, listen, what I don't know won't hurt you. You
Yeah.
feel me? Now, if you're giving me insecurity, let's
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's communicate. Let's really
Right.
understand what these feelings are. If we can't do that, me going through your phone, like, that's not gonna make things better. And like I said, respectfully.
Right.
When you say insecurities, do you mean like, okay, say your partner every time they leave a room, they
I
gotta have
mean,
their phone in their hand, like,
again, that's insecurities on both
No.
parts. I mean, clearly, dude either been with somebody that has been through his private space, and she's probably been with a dude that's been sneaky. So again, if you don't have proper communication, that
Mhm.
shit is crazy. I mean, it's really ridiculous. I don't go through my wife's phone. I don't desire to go through her phone. I don't care.
And you
I
shouldn't
don't
have to when
care.
you
But
married
you know what
neither,
though?
because
There's
y'all
people
tied
that
that knot
like,
for a
oh well,
damn
if we're
reason.
married, we should have each other's passwords. For what? I'm not I'm not going through her phone. I don't
Why?
care.
And we got locks on our phones for a reason,
Listen,
because bitch, if we lose them shits outside, somebody gonna be looking at our phone. Gonna be some shit that they don't want to
you
see.
want them to see that video, nigga?
Right? Like, come on.
listen,
Like, no, I don't need to be in my phone because maybe my boo done sent me something and I done sent him
listen.
something.
At the
Now
end of the day,
all our shit
at
out
the
on the
end of the
internet.
day, a
No.
lot of people's not going to agree because they feel like they just. And that's another thing that's a controlling thing as well. Like my thing is that's your phone. That's your shit.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to control that. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to control their shit. Like that's your shit. If you fuck around, listen. If you fuck around and slip up and do some dumb shit, then you get what you deserve. Period. I'm not gonna waste my time
Yeah.
wondering because it's easy to even wonder. 2022, it's easy to even wonder. I mean, come on. I know niggas in my wife's DM
Mm-hmm.
24/7. I know that. I used to at niggas. Like when niggas was
Yeah.
like comment on shit, I would at niggas. I said, "Yo, bro, that shit is stupid." Like niggas is gonna think that your girl is gorgeous. Women's gonna think that your man is handsome. It is what it is, huh?
She's pretty.
Thank you. Don't
I said she's
she ain't here
pretty.
right now, but whatever. Don't gas her up. But anyway, um, at the end of the day, that's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? And people will try you. You know what I'm saying? And me atting them, I just like that's dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna just still do it, and ain't nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my ring light, my ring bell. I think she's coming in now. My thing is like, I shouldn't have to spend my day or any part of my day worrying about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a waste of time. Yeah, that's.
I feel like if you get there in your relationship, it's
I'm gonna give
probably time to end things because
Yeah.
it's going feeling like your partner is doing
facts.
something makes you feel sick inside. Like nobody
Right.
wants to have that feeling like I can't eat because I love to eat. So no, I don't want to be in a situation where I feel like I can't
Right.
eat. I don't want to feel sick. So if you
Yeah.
reach the level, you probably should just end things
Facts.
because
Facts. I mean,
like
Yeah.
nobody got time for that. At the
I'm
end of the day,
here.
like you know what I'm saying?
Especially when you especially if you got kids involved, and it's like your kids see you in this mood that like what's going on, mommy or daddy, because of relationship you going through. No, because then your anger gonna be taken out on your kids. No, I don't want to be feeling like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
just remove
like I said,
myself.
nobody got time for none of that. So if you gotta do all that, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point?
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So the next red flag in a relationship, I wrote was low self esteem. Have y'all ever dealt with people in relationships that had low self
Mhm.
esteem, like that affected the
Mhm.
relationship?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I could talk about it. I, he probably is listening to the podcast, but I'm not going to throw no names out there. But I
Mm-hmm.
dated this guy, and he had like hella insecurities, and I never made him feel like he was less than to make him feel the way that he did. Like he used to always say stuff like, "Oh, you want a light skinned nigga." I'm like, what? Like, I don't even like that. That's not even my
Right.
speed. You feel me? And then he was like, "You
Wow.
want a nigga with a bigger dick?"
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. And then I start hearing that like a lot from him, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, it's turning me off because clearly whatever you doing or whatever you
Right.
got is working. Like I'm
Traumatized him.
here, but
Something that he went through
yeah, like
traumatized him.
low self esteem.
But not even a low self-esteem. It could also be a play of they're probably saying they probably want somebody else, so they try to put the blame on what you want when it's
Mm,
really something that they want. So it's like that could play an insecurity, but also them figuring out what they
Yeah,
want or
deflection
what
is
they
it could
real.
really
be
want.
Deflection
deflection,
is
yeah.
real. But 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, if you got a man that is saying stuff like that, he's definitely been made to feel less than. And his thing is he needs validation,
Mhm.
constant validation. Like, oh nah, babe, your dick is
Yeah.
big, or nah, babe, your chocolate skin is everything. Like he
Mm-hmm.
needs that validation because he's been broken. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. Listen, it's no different than a woman. You know what I'm saying? A
Mm-hmm.
woman a lot of times need validation to feel pretty, to feel
Mm-hmm.
loved, to feel wanted. You know what I'm saying? Men is the same way. Men want to feel wanted too because
Mm-hmm.
we're not used to that. We're not used to somebody wanting us. We're conditioned to be robots. You know what I'm saying? Like get to work. You ain't got time
Mm-hmm.
to feel. You ain't got time with this. You ain't got time with that. Like that's what we're conditioned. So we're not used to somebody saying, "Come here, let me hug you." Like, "Are you okay?" Or you're enough. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
that women
Yeah.
crave and desire and also need. men need that too. So because if you hear a man say that, 9
Mm-hmm.
times out of 10 he's broke.
But
He's broken. Like he's like, yo, and it's really embarrassing for a man to even admit that. You know what I'm saying? I've been in that place before. You know what I'm saying? Like just
mm-hmm.
wanting to feel, you know what I mean? Like, do you want me? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand that. I understand that. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's way
Yeah.
past looks, it's way past performance and what you can do physically and all that. It's an internal thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men don't know how to put that, no
Yeah.
language on that. You know what I'm saying? It's embarrassing to be that vulnerable.
But I feel like that's what I don't like, because if we could
You
be
can't, but it's
vulnerable,
not that
you could be the
simple. It's
same
not
way
that
too.
simple.
Like why?
It's not that
Like
simple.
how they say, like a man is
Right.
not a mind reader.
True.
Okay, women are mind readers neither, because we don't know what you're
But
going through. You're not sharing your thoughts with
like I
us.
said,
How are we supposed to know what you're going through until everything is said and done? And now you want to vent? Now you want to tell me how you was feeling? Why? You could have told me this when we was in this relationship. Why wait until I'm over this whole situation and moved on somewhere else? Because you feel like now,
okay,
oh yeah,
Now you
okay.
want
So
to
let me
tell
let
me
me
how
answer
you
that.
feel.
yeah, like
Again, I
no.
repeat, most men don't know how to be vulnerable. So when you want
Well, they need
tell
to.
you something, let's be clear. Let's be clear. For the most part, like I said, they're scared to be vulnerable because they've been in situations when they were vulnerable and they've been made to feel weak in that moment. So if he wants to come to you and you're coming to him aggressive, he's not gonna feel like, oh, I can come to her and be vulnerable and be accepted how I feel. It's gonna be more so get over it. So you can't say that a man should, because most men can't. You get what I'm saying? Most men don't have that. They don't have that. Yeah, they
I
don't
get it.
have that platform to
I was
be able
told
to
that.
be vulnerable. So they don't know what to do with that vulnerability. They lash out. Some men wild out and they get so angry that they'll say bad things. They'll, put their hands on things, break shit, go outside and do dumb shit because they don't know how to be, they don't know how to express how they feel because they don't have that platform to be vulnerable. So when you see a man like that,
And then some people use
right,
their
right,
vulnerability against
and
them
it's
too. So I get that.
it's more towards men than women. Like women are allowed to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta know who
you're
you
right.
with, though.
But a lot of
You
times
gotta
you
know
don't.
who you with.
You could be with somebody for years and don't know who you with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. True.
again,
True.
like you say,
True. True.
ignoring red flags, right?
Just
So at
not
the end of the day,
dating
you could be
them.
with somebody who didn't even know that that's what this was, or what it could be. It's all perception. You know what I'm saying? What you see. If you choose to ignore, then it is what it is. It's all about comfortability. You get comfortable in a situation, and you're thinking like, all right, well, this is just what it is, and then after a while, it's just not conducive. Then what? But like I said, most men, shout out to them. Most men do not understand vulnerability. They think it's weakness. They think it's gay. They think it's soft. You know what I mean? We're trained naturally to try to be strong, and most men, all men, excuse me, don't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that. You know what I mean? Like we all have sensitive areas too that needs to be respected. But a lot of men, they they're told like your soft side should never be told. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, shout out to them because
Yeah.
I've been there. I know what that feels like. You know what I mean? And that's scary. It's scary too. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you're gonna get on that other side. I was raised by like strong women. You know what I'm saying? Like not no girly, soft, women. These women, yeah, these women
Right.
were
Well, that was
thugs.
us.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
was raised
So
by.
it was
I think
like
that's why.
they didn't respect a
Yeah.
man that cried or wanted to hug. Like my grandmothers and them didn't hug nobody. You knew they loved you, but they didn't play. You know what I mean? Like you wasn't getting no
Yeah.
hug or no kisses and shit like that.
Yeah.
Nah. You know what I mean? So and all my uncles, they
Yeah.
was rough. You know what I'm saying? Great uncles, rough. So no men, like unless it was like flamboyantly gay in my family, those are the only ones that was, you know, vulnerable to, say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the times haven't really changed that much because if you look at the young guys that's out there right now, especially the ones that be doing all the rap and stuff like that, the drill rappers and stuff,
You said what?
do you think that they hugging some? Do you think that
No,
they
but I mean,
getting hugs and
look
stuff
on
like?
both of those spectrums. Most of these young kids ain't never had a hug, female or male. You got women like these little young girls. They don't know how to be in a
Yeah.
relationship. They don't even have a stable household. So how could they? We
Mm-hmm.
live in an era where most of these young women only want is a man to trick on them and buy them shit. You know what I'm saying? And the guys, they like, all right, boom, and they feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy this one, whatever she wants, and I'll buy that one, whatever she wants, and that's what it is. But then they get on platforms and say, oh, well, I just want somebody to love on me. I just want somebody. It's like, how can they do that when you're looking for that? You don't even know what that is. And then if you got that, then you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you don't even know how to respect it. What was that girl that said she don't respect the nigga that has a 9 to 5? Like, when did that happen? So if a dude has a job, you don't respect him.
Right.
He has to make over $200,000-300,000 a year. So what do you do? What do you contribute?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
right, because
Right.
at the end of
I'm
the day,
pretty sure
like
you have a 9 to 5, unless you own your own business, and a
right,
business, our own business is still a 9 to 5.
Cause I mean, you should be in that circle
right.
if that's the type of money that you making. Them the type of people that you
Yeah,
gonna
most of
run
the men that
into
make that type of
because
money
that's
don't
your
want no chick
crowd.
looking like that
But
or
Mm-hmm.
acting like that. You know what I mean? There's a certain
Right.
level of a woman that man is looking for. You feel what I'm saying? Like he not gonna respect that woman, and vice versa. A woman that's making
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of money or whatever the case may be, they're not gonna be looking for a dude that's trying. And it's really sad because at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, that might be the one.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know
Yeah,
what?
and it's all good. I'm glad you said that. Go ahead, Shakira. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to do an episode on what
mm,
makes you marriage material.
yeah, that's cool.
Oh, we could do that.
I like
Yes,
that. That's cool.
we could.
I
I
mean,
like
we
that
can
one.
do that. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, when you know, you know. You know what I'm saying?
But
When you know, you know. It feels right. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And like, I mean, like I said, it's all about characteristics and character. Like, you know if that person is the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never in a million years thought I would be married because I didn't trust nobody.
And it's so crazy because like
Mm-hmm.
this, like
Right.
I call them associates at this point because we can't say we friends because I don't know, with things. But I feel like that's how I feel like when you're comfortable with dating or just talking to somebody, don't ones always be the ones that manage to not go right. They fail, but it's like when you step, it's like
Right.
now for me, let me step out of my comfort zone just to see, like, and in my
Right.
thing, it ain't always about looks for me. It's just like,
Right.
it's the personality, it's the vibe you give off. And it just be like, why are you doing that? Things like that. But it's like, that's why I need to step
Right.
out of my comfort zone from what I'm used to. And, so it's like, now let me see how
You
this
might
go.
be
Cause
the one
bitch, he might just be the one. And I'm like, and
because
I'm
you're looking
thinking you
for
to the side, and it's like, damn. Then you see him later, all
that could have
happy,
been
mad
you.
with this.
But you
Like,
know what
bitch,
it
oh,
is?
that
It's
could have been
because you
me.
actually
You know?
thinking of the wants and not the needs. You know what I'm saying? He gave you what you needed, but he couldn't give you what you
Right.
want. You know what I'm saying? So because he couldn't get you what you want, you
Mm-hmm.
overlooked him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's giving everything that he was supposed to give to you to somebody else,
Right.
and you like, damn, that's fucked up. And you're like, nah,
Right.
you overlooked what he was giving you because you was looking at him for the wrong thing. I mean, men do
Mm-hmm.
that too. Men do that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We overlook certain things and end up
if
Mm-hmm.
he
having the
even giving
craziest
something
baby
to the
mothers in the world.
next person, yeah.
What you say? If it's what?
If he even giving it to somebody else, like, cause people be getting married and you be thinking, oh, why he ain't married me? And they ain't got nothing going
True,
on. They just married.
true, true. I mean, that happens too.
Right.
But
Right.
like I said, it's all about.
That's why I'm gonna do
You
an
got a lot of
episode on
episodes.
that.
You got a lot of
Cause
episodes.
all right,
You better start writing them
I
down.
know, I know.
All right,
So let's move on to the next one,
which
right?
one?
The next red flag: physical, emotional, or mental abuse.